Hi y'all, this is Charity from F.R.O.G Crochet, and I haven't been on for a while, I know, but our devotion for today, leave only footprints. And whatever you do, in word or in deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. Colossians chapter 3, verse 17. Our favorite beach in Alabama has this motto posted all along the shoreline: leave only footprints. In an effort to keep the coast clean, beachgoers are asked to remove unnecessary items from the seashore at the end of the day as they return to their condos or homes after a beautiful day at the beach. In the instructions are to leave no debris, no beach toys or chairs, nothing that doesn't belong amid the natural seascape of sand, shells, and water. I would say that is a reasonable request. These simple signs prompt me to consider, what does God want me to leave behind each day? When I've finished interacting with others at work or at home, what kind of footprints will remain? The entire third chapter of Colossians is filled with insight concerning characteristics to discard and attributes to practice. Discard sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, anger, wrath, malice, slander, and filthy language. Colossians 3 5 through 8, or 5 and 8. Colossians 3:12 through 14 charges Christ followers to practice compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, bearing with one another, and forgiving one another. Above all, put on love. That's quite a contrast of do's and don'ts. The footprints I deposit on the hearts of those I encounter each day can leave an indelible mark, for good or for evil. My desire must be to honor Christ in all my actions and words, to strive for Christ-likeness in everything I do. Leave only the footprints of the God who loves you and gave his life for you. Leave no debris, only love. And our prayer is, Father, teach me to love like you love and leave behind the sweet fragrance of Christ. And for a deeper walk, read Colossians chapter 3. Okay, I am wearing my first time wearing the Congolese poncho. It is cold in here. I do have this done. I don't know if I've showed this before or not. I've had it done for a while, and I just finally got the end of it sewed in. I was going to put tassels on the ends of this, but I decided not to. I'm not a big fan of tassels or fringe. Let's see. Get Miss Kitty to pull up the video on my phone so I can see chat if anybody comes in. I did test the baby cocoon and hat baby booties, the set for Anita, Queen Mama Hillbilly House with Anita, and this is the cocoon. If you guys can see this, there's the cocoon done. And the hat. I did not put the little ball thingy on there on the top, but the hat's done. And the little booties is done. Got those done. Before I show you my temperature blanket that I've been working on, I had not showed you guys, but I did get some yarn for Mother's Day. I had sent my husband what was it? Michael's had, was it $10 off coupon if you purchase $40 or more. I sent him that as a hint. I even sent him other coupons for hints. And I even told him, I said, if you want to use my my account to give me points or whatever. And I don't know whether he gave him my account number, which is, you can give him my phone number. And anyway, he's like, well, we were talking outside one day, and before Mother's Day, he said, what do you want for Mother's Day? I said, well, I said, did you not get the hint that I wanted yarn? Well, yeah, I got that hint, but what exactly do you want? And so I went on Michael's and started showing him pictures of yarn that I was interested in. And anyway, he's like, well, you're going to have to send me pictures or show me this again later. So I sent the pictures. I did screenshots on my phone and sent him the pictures through Messenger of what I was wanting. Well, he gave me the yarn on Mother's Day. And he's like, I'm sorry. He says, this is not what you wanted. He said, but it was on clearance. And he said, but when he went, there was not a lot at the store that he went to. Now, there is actually 2 Michaels in the town that he works in. One is not too far from where he works. And he has to drive a little ways. The other one's a little bit further from his work. But this is what he brought me. Now, this one does not have a label on it, and that's fine. It is a little messed up from people messing with it. But we can work with it. But this is what he got me. You cannot, there you go. Got blue, white, gray, and the purple color. It's 2 different shades of blue. And it is actually a Caron Big Cake in the colorway Blueberry Pudding. And I thought they were just gorgeous. And so I told him, I said, you did good. I like it. And he picked out colors that I would like. And there's 3 of those. That's what he got me for Mother's Day. All right. Now, I have not worked on the temperature blanket in a long while. I had all of January done and just a little bit of February done. Let's see. Okay. That's where the end of January was. And there's where I left off in February. So, all of this was done already. From there to there. That's January. And, of course, this dark line right here, it's a really dark one right there, was my birthday. This is just my markers here. This is the beginning, and that's my edger one divider piece. And there's the divider. And like I said, that's where I left off in February. I think it was like February 12th. I think's what it was. And so I sat down the other day. Well, I frantically went looking for my book. I had a spiral notebook that I had sat down last year, and I wrote down all the temperatures that I needed. And it's the temperatures from the year I was born and the town that I was born in, and also the temperatures from my husband's year of birth and the town he was born in. Now, I was born in Missouri. He was born in North Carolina. So the temperatures do vary a little bit. But I'm loving how the colors are coming out. And as you see, there's a lot of whites and stuff right through there. That's February's. It was a little bit warm. The tan is like the 20s. And then when the blue starts, it's about the 30s and up. The whites, there's a sparkly white that's got the metallic in it, that is anything 0 or below 0 in the negatives. I do actually have a few right here on the very 1st of February. And see, this first one is, the first line is mine because it's 1980. And then the next one is the high for that day. And then the other two, that's the low, or the low and the high for his temperatures. But anyway, this is the rest of February. From here, right here where my thumb's at, or where the stitch marker's at, down to here. Now this row right here, this dark color here is just the end of it. And then there's a few filler rows because February only has 28 and 29. Actually, the year that I was born, there was 29 days. The year he was born, there was only 28. So I just filled in. This is the rest of my rows of the other ones that I'm going to do are going to be equal. But see, there's my stitch marker. And I did all of that. Now, the extra rows to here, I did this afternoon. But from here to here, I did all that yesterday. But I could not find my notebook. And I was looking everywhere for it. And we have been doing some cleaning, remodeling and stuff in here. We've done some in this room. There was a piano in here, and there was an organ in here. The piano, and look, that's folded in half. That's half. This thing is huge. It's really long. So, I was going to do 3 months, but because this is so long, I'm going to just do 2 months, put my border on this, and which I've already started. Let's see. Started down this way.
I require assistance.
Is she cleaning you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I got to here, and I got to go all the way down. So I still got a long ways to go, and down the other side. But from here down to here, I still got to put the border. And then all the way down the other side. And then I will put the sparkly yarn that I liked, which is a teal. This is my color for mine. That's my birthday color. I don't know if you can see it very good in this lighting. But right here is a dark teal color with metallic stuff in it. And we did have, in February, one of my husband's sisters, her birthday. And that's a purple. That's why you got this weird funky color in here in the middle of all these blues. But see that purple right there? that's one of his sister's birthdays. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, there's 2 days here. There's negative. There's 1 here, and then there's one below 0 here. There. Nope, it still looks really dark. But that's the... So we've only had 2 birthdays in these 2 months. Mine in January, and one of my husband's sisters is in February. Now, the next go around, I think we have... I think the next go around for the next 2 months, we're even out pretty good because there's 2 birthdays in my family and there's 2 birthdays in his family. So there'll be 4 color stripes, different colored stripes in the next go around. And I think I've seen some more below 0, so I still have some more white sparklies in there. But because of everything, having to help take care of my father-in-law and stuff like that, I've had to put this on hold because I have all the colors that I'm using for the different temperatures down in this big, huge, giant tote bag that I got from Joann's. Plus this has to go with me. The notebook that I have. And I just did a little postcard that showed, well, that one has been done. The different colors for each temperature. I've got those wrote down and put on a card. And then just yesterday, I started another card that has the colors that I'm using for everybody's birthdays. I'm using a certain color. So all of his sisters, when they have a birthday come up, they will all be this shade of purple. And then I have not figured out, got my yarn across my feet here. I have not figured out what color I'm going to use for his brothers. I'm thinking a yellow because I don't have a yellow in this yet. Anyway, his mom, my husband's mother's color is like a dusty rose pink color. His dad's is like a hunter green, forest green type thing. And we are on top chat, not live chat there. Nobody has talked. All right, let me fix that. Hi, whoever's watching. I see that I have 3 of y'all. Nobody's talking to me.
Well, one of them is this right here.
Anyway, let's see. That's like a hunter green for his dad. And then his sister's is the purple. And I'm thinking about doing like a yellow color for... Well, bye. A yellow color for his brothers. And let's see, mine is that dark teal. My husband is going to be like a navy blue with the sparkly metallic in it. I haven't found one for little man yet. Who is it? I can't see.
Angela.
Oh, hi, Angela. Welcome in.
She says, hi, Frog and Kitty and everyone in the chat. How are you doing today? I'm doing fine today. Your projects are very beautiful colors and very beautiful work.
Well, thank you. I'm wearing my Congolese thing here because I'm cold.
I'm wearing a onesie because why not?
She's wearing her nightgown, her night outfit.
I changed it after we got home, actually.
Yeah.
It was comfortable and I was cold.
Like 57 the last time I checked outside. It has been raining off and on today. We had some wind. But anyway, let's see. Mine's navy, or no, aqua. Sorry, dark teal. Dark teal. My husband's is navy blue with the metallic in it. I have not picked one out for a little man yet. I need to go in my craft room and find some that's got the metallic stuff in it. Let's see, you picked purple, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
There's a purple with sparklies in it for Miss Kitty. I let her pick her color. Then I have 2 different shades of green that I've got picked out for for my dad, and then a different shade of green for my stepdad. They're pretty close in color. One is like a really bright lime green, and the other one's almost like an olive green, almost. Not a really dark olive green. Yes. But anyway, it does have the sparkly stuff to it, the metallic. And then there's a bright pink that I've picked out for my sisters. Now, I don't have any brothers. I have all sisters, so you won't see any other color other than like the greens and the blues. For like my favorite color is blue, more teal or aqua than a blue. I mean, more than a navy blue. But because I was looking at, I'm using Big Twist. I would have rather had a lighter color teal, but they didn't have but that really dark teal color with the sparklies in it. But anyway, and then I found the navy blue for my husband. I was hoping to find maybe like a royal blue or a different shade of blue for little man, but I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go in my office there and see what I can find. I know when I was cleaning up in there, because I was frantically looking for that notebook that had all the temperatures in it so I could start working on it. I looked in the living room where I thought it might have been and cleaned up that whole area, couldn't find it. So I went in my craft room and I started just cleaning up, and I had a lot of yarn here and there over last year that I was like, all right, kids, here, go take this to the office. Here, go take this to the office. Stuff that I need to file. I was like, here, take this to the office.
We put it in the floor.
Craft related stuff. Here, take this to the office. And yes, instead of
it in the middle of the floor
in a nice place or neatly in there, they just dumped it in the floor. And so I went through, I had a bunch of plastic totes that were emptied out from cleaning out the garage from my mother-in-law's place, and I utilized those. I've put, I probably got 5 or 6, and they vary in size of the totes, plastic totes. Now, one of them has Miss Kitty's stuff in it. She had a few crafts and stuff that she brought down from her room and dumped them in the office. And so I
didn't know where else to put them, and we usually put crafts in the office, so I went and put it in there.
So anyway,
it was mostly little men just dumping it in the floor, and then I started dumping it in the floor when I couldn't reach places anymore because I didn't want to break anything by climbing over stuff.
I finally got my office to where you can at least walk around in there a little bit better. A lot of stuff is still stacked in totes and stuff. There's a bookshelf in there that I want to clean out the yarn out of it and move my chair in there and set up a cubicle that I had bought and use that for yarn. I was actually going to use this cubicle that's sitting in here, but I like the way that it sits with this other cabinet, so it's going to end up staying in here. anyway, eventually I will get in there. But mainly we were working in here. A lot of the reason why we were working in this area was because of bringing stuff home from his mom's place to make room for that stuff. And like I said, the piano didn't work. Some of the keys, the strings were busted completely off. Some of them didn't have the felt pieces. It was a very, very old piano, and we just don't have the money to fix it, to have it paid, be fixed. So we just got rid of it. And then there was an organ in here as well. And now this was an electrical organ. You just plug in everything. We tore it down, took it apart. And that was after we plugged it in and checked it, because the kids were saying it was sounding funny, didn't work right. And my husband opened the lid of said organ and found a big giant mouse nest up in there where the wires are. And so we figured the nest, I guess when the kids plugged it in at one time or another, it shorted out stuff to where it's not working at all. And so we took it apart to make it easier to move, and got rid of it. But we still got some work to do. This here is not where I want it. And actually, my Chromebook is actually sitting on his mom's old sewing machine cabinet. It actually does have the sewing machine in it, and it's electrical. He worked on it sometime last year, sprayed it out with can of air stuff and cleaned all the little crevices and stuff, and went and put oil on it and stuff, because she's not used it in a long time. I know it's been sitting here for 6 years without being used, so it definitely needed some attention. So, and I still have not yet plugged it in and used it yet, because it used to be in his little office room, where he's got his toolbox and all kinds of stuff in there that he's got his little workshop in. But anyway, we had to get rid of the organ first. We got that. Now I need to get this cabinet over here in the cubicle moved over. And then I want to put this sewing machine over there, mainly because there's a big, huge painting over here that his mom left here. And I love it. It's beautiful. It's got a young lady in like a wedding dress or something like that, but it's beautiful. It's huge. She told me if I didn't want to keep it, just to get rid of it. I love it. So I want it to stay there, but I'm going to put the sewing machine under there. And we kept the piano bench, and I was going to use it to sit on when I tried to attempt to use the sewing machine. Because my mother tried to teach me how to use a sewing machine many, many, many years ago. I know how to thread it. I know how to use it, but to get it to go straight, no. I guess that's one of the things I'm going to have to learn patience with and learn how to use a sewing machine. Because I have 2 handbags that I made several years ago, probably the first year we moved over here, or it might have been the second year. Anyway, I have done 2 handbags, and I need to line them. And I had a lady do 2 for me. No, 1. Take it back. Sorry, 1. I did 1 by myself. I hand sewed it, and I was just like, no, That's just way too much and too hard to do. Of sitting there trying to hand sew the liner together and then sew it in to the purse itself. Now that wasn't too bad. The worst part was just hand stitching it, the pocket, liner itself together. I just like, if I'm gonna keep doing this and making purses and doing liners, I've got to do something else besides this, because this just hand sewing this takes forever to do. So maybe I can sit down one day and try to do it myself. But I did make I made one for my sister-in-law that she has helped us out a lot. She has took care of the kids for me quite a bit. When I was working, she would take them to school. And then she would get them after school and take them home with her until we could get them picked up from her house. Especially if I had to work early in the mornings. Now, if I had to work later in the day, I would actually take the kids to school, and then she would pick them up. And usually my husband would get the kids because he would get off before I did when I had the late shifts. And anyway, now mostly it was Miss Kitty going over there more than little man, because he was going to the babysitters until he finally started school. But anyway, she has helped out a lot. Anytime that we had any medical emergency situations with me, whether I was sick and I needed to go to the emergency room, urgent care, anything like that, or my husband needed to go to emergency room, stuff like that, she would take the kids for me. And there was a couple times that she's come up to the hospital and picked the kids up for us and kept them overnight. So she is such a blessing to us. She's helped us out quite a bit with the kids, and she loves spending time with the kids. She is, to me, she's more of a grandmother to them than she is really an aunt. And my mom says, "You guys make sure that the in-laws are spoiling my grandkids, because I can't do it." Because she lives all the way out in Missouri. I'm in Virginia. So she don't get to see Miss Kitty and Little Man very often. So anyway, I told her, I said, "Oh, don't you worry." I said, "Granddaddy and Grandma have them spoiled rotten." And I said, on top of that, Aunt Rachel and Uncle David have them spoiled rotten as well. I said, they're more grandparents to the kids than they are aunt and uncle. But anyway, they love going over there and spending time with Aunt Rachel and Uncle David. So, just as much as they loved going to Grandma's. Anyway, so I've made her several things over the years. I probably should make her more than what I have. Most of the stuff I do make is either given away, like this one here is a prayer shawl that'll be donated to the church for a prayer shawl. The baby cocoon and everything that's set that I tested for Anita, that will be going to my sister, who just recently had a baby, which I need to get that shipped out. That's why I've been trying to push on getting it done so quickly, which it actually works up really easy. I love it. It is gorgeous too. Anyway, I had one planned to send out to my sister, which was, and part of the reason why I'm sending it to her, it was a little girl that she had. but her husband is in the Army. And it's pink. And then there is a light pink, like a pale petal pink or something like that. I think that's what it was. The name of it was of the pink. And then I used camouflage, and then I did another pink section around the outside of it. But anyway, and it's the virus stitch, or I like to call it the German shells, because that's originally what it was the German shells. But a lot of people know it as the virus stitch. When I actually ran across it when I was cleaning in the office, I've got it in a box to send out to her. And I actually ran across another baby blanket that I had. I totally forgot that I had it, and I forgot I had actually finished it. But I found it, and I stuck it in the box to send to her as well. And then she'll get these hair items as well, and send those soon. And I can't do it tomorrow since tomorrow's Memorial Day. So I will be probably sending it with my husband on Tuesday to see if he can get it sent out in the mail. I'm just grabbing my phone so I can see the chat if anybody does put anything in here, because I cannot read the chat all the way over there. So anyway, because it's the bitty tiny print, and I can't read that. But and I did find another baby blanket that I had started sometime last year, and I ran across the partial done product of it, and the rest of the yarn that goes with it. And so I had started working on that a little bit the other day as well. I have not finished it yet. And it's actually my own pattern. But I was going to write it up and try to do a pattern, actual written pattern, but I might just do a tutorial on it. Oh, hi, Helen. How are you? What? She says, what is a temperature blanket? Does it go by day, week, or month? You can do it differently. Everybody does theirs differently. You can do it by the week. You can do it by the month if you want to. Most people either do by day or by week to make it big enough to be a blanket. If you do by month, it won't be very big. And it varies. Like the temperature blanket that I'm doing is, I have done a lot of research. I went to a certain web page, and I typed in temperatures from 1980 in Osage Beach, Missouri. So that's where I was born in. And it gave me the closest airport to that hospital. And it gave me all the temperatures from January 1st to December 31st of 1980. And I went through and I wrote down the high and the low temperatures for each day. Then I went and typed in the temperatures for my husband's birthday, or year that he was born, which is 1981 in North Carolina. And got all the temperatures from the closest airport that he was born, because that's the only there's not very many places that actually keeps records, but airports do keep record of the temperatures. Anyway, I took and wrote all those down. And that's what this is. This is all the temperatures from the year that I was born and the year that he was born. And I am doing, it's going to be a big blanket because this is just, I'll show you. This here is just January and February. And right here is my divider line for the 2 months. And this is, let me move little stitches out of the way so you can see how big this thing is. That's half of it. This is the this is longer than I can stretch out. But this thing is huge. That's just 2 months. So I'm going to do another strip. I'm going to start after I get the border on this. I'll start, this is just January and February. So I'll start March and April here soon after I get the border done. And then I'll do another strip like this of March and April. And then go to every 2 months, put it together like this. And you can change, you can pick whatever colors you want. I picked colors that I liked. I'm using a white that's sparkly for anything like 0 and below. And then a white that's not got sparkly stuff in it, just plain white for like the single digits. And then the teens is an ivory. 20s is a khaki color. 30s, I think, is a sky blue. 40s is cornflower blue. And see, 50s is a sage green. Then 60s is aqua. And 70s is denim. And beyond that, I couldn't tell you because I don't have my chart with me. But they go on up to even 100. But I got different shades of, because my favorite color is blue. Mostly aquas and teal colors. But as the months get on, as you can see, the different change in colors. Now mine, I did add an extra row here. This has the purple strip right here. Is a mark of one of his sisters. That tells me that that's his sister's birthday that day. This one is my birthday. So mine was January 4th. So I was right here at the very beginning of January. Now you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can just do the colors that you want to do. But it's however you want to. I am using, shoot, what is this stitch? I can't remember what it's called. It's a single crochet and then a chain. It's really easy. I can't remember what this stitch was called. Shoot. Man, it quit scratching on there. Quit scratching on my furniture. Everybody does things differently. I know there's some people that'll take either do the lowest temperature for the week and they'll do a row and they'll just do like a little short row and do like a scarf out of it. There's different variations of it. There's all kinds of stuff on YouTube that you can look up and see what you want to do. This one is a huge project. Like I said, it's a lot bigger than what I was anticipating, but I like how it's turning out. It's going to be a lot of work, and I'm already way behind. but because of it being that they are past temperatures, you can even do, like, a lot of people like to do temperatures for the year that you're in right now. And kudos to those that can actually keep up with it and do it every day and get it done within a year's time. Hats off to y'all. But, I had started this in January this year. Didn't anticipate things to go downhill as quickly as it did with my father-in-law. But, you finished the Rubik's Cube. Blah, blah.
You want to mix it up for me? See if I can solve it? Please do.
But anyway, that's why I'm so far behind on this, is because of helping take care of him and everything. So I just did finish January and February on this. And June will be on us here really soon. So, and let's see, Birdie P. Sorry. Hi, welcome in. I was trying to answer Helen's question.
Please mix it up for me so I can try and solve it again.
Oh, Miss Kitty has finished her Rubik's Cube. It's a really tiny one.
It's hard to maneuver sometimes because it gets stuck.
She solved it. They had gotten this from
school,
from Calvin, our little man's school, and they had a game day or something like. Anyway, it's just to kind of get the parents involved with stuff at the school and everything.
It likes to get stuck sometimes.
Yeah, I see that.
It has to be positioned just right. You gotta have it just right to turn it. All the cubes have to be in the right place.
Well, I'm actually solving that one for you.
That's the idea. You're mixing it up and putting it back together.
All right, there you go. Okay. All mixed up.
I shall leave now. I will be back when I complete it. It can be anytime you want. Most do it daily or for the year. Yeah, some people do it by the month. Some people do it by the year. Each day. Some do each week. It varies. Like I said, with temperature blankets. Birdie says there is one YouTuber that makes flowers daily. That is how she does her temperature blanket. Some do high and low. They can get so creative. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Birdie, do you know what YouTube person that is? I haven't seen that one. I know Setta's doing one, and she is doing a different project every time. Like the first one she did like a kind of a granny square type thing, like a solid granny square, but she was doing like half of it one color, half of it another color, like in an L shape. Anyway, she had like a neutral color in the middle, and then she would change it halfway through. Like one side was the high, the other side was the low for each day. And it got so big that she was just like, what am I going to do with this thing? And so she ended up doing, I think, January and February together. And I think she's used that to put on the back of her chair or something like that. Then she did a pillow that she could put behind her back in her chair. she's done all kinds of different ones. Like I said, she's wanting to be a little more creative with her stuff each month. She's coming up with different stuff because to her, doing something like this, she gets bored with it easy. So each month she does different stuff instead of the same thing over and over again. And now she's got that going on. She's using the temperatures from where she's at in Alaska. And then she also is working on another temperature blanket for her son for the year that he was born in. And she picked the colors and everything. And I think he gave her some colors that he liked too. And anyway, it's interesting how it works. She got on some kind of website and had it put the colors where she needed it, and it tells her how many stitches for each row on what side, because hers is like one side's the high, one side's the low, but it curves. It's got this little S curve. I don't know. It's got a curve in it when she gets it finished. But each row is for each day of the year that he was born in. And like I said, one part of it is high, the other part's low for that day. And you only do so many stitches for one row, and then you do another color for the other side, however many stitches it tells you to do. But it changes as you go across because it starts doing that curve. And then it'll go back and do another. Okay. And Helen says, oh, wow, my friend is January 4th. Oh, and you're January 10th. Okay. Cool. There's not very many people in January for birthday. You solved it already? Girl, just go on. She done solved it again already.
And I'll bring it in front of the camera as proof that I solved it. It's a tiny little thing. It's fun.
It says, Birdie, I was years ago when I did mine. I can't remember. Mine is huge. You can't remember what you did? Yeah, this one here is going to be humongous. I made one years and years ago, but it was not a temperature blanket. It was a just a blanket. It is a king size, and I did all single stitch, back loop only in it. So it's got that ripple ridge color on it, and I used the North Carolina Tar Heels colors. Oh, I remember what the stitch is now. It's called the moss stitch. It works up really easy and really fast. It's just I have to change colors so much on it. Now, there's been a few times that I could do like the low for his temperature and the high for the temperature for that day that I was in were the same color. And there was a couple of days that I seen that of his that the low and the high were both in the same temperature range, which was in the 50s. The low and of course that's a big difference between, you got Missouri and North Carolina. So, North Carolina's a little more south than Missouri is. So they had a little bit warmer temperatures than what Missouri did. And that, so far that I know of, he had some single digits in his low temperatures, but there's not any temperatures below 0 on his. Now there's a few in there for mine because I'm, Missouri's a little bit far north, as well, but we're also doing 2 different years
I
as
mixed
well.
it up again, and I'm gonna go do it again. And I will be back when I complete it.
So,
I'm having fun.
And you guys keep a lookout too. Miss Seta is out visiting her son for the summer sometime soon. She comes out during the summertime close to her birthday and his birthday as well. And so we will probably do a meetup with Miss Seta. She's the only one that I know of that's close enough. I might be able to, I don't know. I really don't know if I'd ever get to go see Granny D anytime soon. My mother-in-law does live in North Carolina, but I think my husband said Granny D is 3 or 4 hours from where I'm at. And it's already, I think, an hour and a half drive from my house to my mother-in-law's house. And little man is not very patient in a car. The last few times that I have went to meet up with Miss Seta, we did not tell little man where we were going. We just told him we were meeting up with somebody. And there was one day that Miss Kitty didn't even know we were meeting up with her and surprised the kids. We actually met up at the Michaels in that town, which is the same town that my husband works in, which is an hour drive. So that's not too bad. So I don't mind driving about an hour out there to go see Miss Seta for a little bit. We usually, the first time we spent a pretty good portion of the day together. The kids absolutely loved it. Little man just absolutely loves Miss Seta. The whole day it was Miss Seta, Miss Seta, Miss Seta, Miss Seta, Miss Seta. That's all we heard out of little man all day. She got so tickled with him. He wanted to show her everything. But anyway, he used to. He don't do it as much as he used to. I think a lot of it because he's playing video games or he'd rather watch something else on TV. But he used to grab my phone when I was watching her videos, and he would take my phone to where I couldn't watch the video. He would take off with it. And after it was done, he's like, here you go. It's over. I'm like, really? You couldn't sit here next to me and let me watch with you? Really? So, yes, Seta from Seta's Place. Which she actually, I don't know if you've seen the video or not, Helen. She had gifted me a pattern a while back. And I believe it's the link to her webpage in my last live. But she gifted me this poncho pattern. This one's mine. And I actually made 2 of them for Miss Kitty. There's this one. That one's the second one I made for Miss Kitty. And this was the first one. Now this looks, it's almost long enough to be a kind of a dress on her. But I did the exact rows that we needed for, I did as many rows as she said to do. Now I didn't do up here, the counts are off up here because Miss Kitty's a lot skinnier. So anyway, that's why it's got, but it stretches enough where she can wear it. Again, you finished it already again. But anyway.
At least I'm having fun.
I didn't do as many rows on the other one because this was so long. And Miss Setta is definitely a lot taller than we are, so I had to shorten mine. I didn't do as many rows on mine either, is what her pattern calls for. Yes, I love Miss Setta. Calvin does. I keep saying his name. Sorry, y'all. Not supposed to. Anyway, the little man. He absolutely loves her.
He'll steal your phone.
The first day he met her, he was just what you would call starstruck, because he thinks the world of her. And if he knows when I'm talking to her, like if I send her a chat or an email, tell her I said hi. So, my nose itching. I didn't take allergy medicine today. Sorry, y'all. But anyway, that pattern is on her webpage, settasplace.com, and she has several patterns for sale on there. She just released a dress. She made a top, like a tank top type part of hers, and she didn't do the skirt part, but the pattern actually has where you can do the skirt part for it too as well, I believe. Don't quote me on that one, but I think she did say that you could turn it into a dress if you wanted to. But anyway, the pattern for that is called Be Sweet Poncho. And I used acrylic yarn, and because it's like a mesh, it really does. And I get hot natured during the summertime. That didn't make me hot wearing it the other day when I tried it on. This, I am cold, so I'm using this. This is my Congolese poncho. This is from Spring, the fiber enthusiast. This is her pattern, and this thing goes way down, and it's like almost to my feet. This thing's huge. But I fell in love with hers. It keeps falling off of me, y'all. But readjust this second. This is Spring, the Fiber Enthusiasts Congolese poncho. I'm gonna have to adjust my shoulders for me. I did it too wide here. In this, I used Caron Skinny Cakes for this, and it took 2.5 skinny cakes to finish this one. And this, in the size to fit me, the Setta's poncho. Now, she used a fingering weight, I think, is what she uses. This here is a 4 weight. This is actually the cinnamon roll from Michael's. And I did this, and I still had some left over out of the one skein of it, or cake. It was probably about 1/4 of the yarn that I had left, just to make that. So this is really easy to make, and it doesn't take a whole lot of yarn. I loved doing it. It was really fast. I got hers done. I got this done in one day. And I got that one done in one day. Of course, Miss Kitty's a lot smaller than I am. Mine took a little bit longer. Mine, I think, 2 or 3 days. But I only worked on it a little bit here and there. Now, hers, I actually got to sit down and just sit and work on it until I got it done. Oh, I got a diamond painting. Hold on, y'all. I got a diamond painting I finished. Which actually, I got one here. I think I posted a picture of this. I don't think I ever showed it on here. But this one I finished for Miss Kitty. And you can't read it too well, so I will read it what it's supposed to say. It says, "To my daughter, never forget that I love you. Life is filled with hard times and good times. Learn from everything you can. Be the woman I know you can be. Love, Mom." And as soon as I find a picture frame big enough for that, I will get that put in a frame for her so she can hang it in her room. But I'll be right back and I'll get you the older one that I finished. Now this one I love this one. And I will put this one up when I get it framed. I'll probably stick it in here. This, when I seen it, I absolutely fell in love with this one. And I actually got this off of Temu. That one too. The one I got from Miss Kitty and did for her. That's from Temu. I probably, when I get that one framed, hang it up in here. I might hang it up underneath this here picture. But the other one for Miss Kitty will be put in her bedroom. And then I have another one that says, "To my son." I haven't started it yet because this lighthouse one, I actually started it last year, and I had put it up for a while, and I ran across it when I was cleaning. I think it was a couple weeks ago. It wasn't just the other day. It was a couple weeks ago. I had gotten it out and started working on it. And I worked on it just a little bit here, a little bit there. Yeah, I love that they have free postage. It does take a little bit to get here. Probably about from when they say that you get it takes about a week to get to the States, and then about a week to get to my house. So I give or take about 2 weeks to get it here. Maybe about a week and a half. Depends. Now, and they do, I will tell you, they do stand by their motto, their thing of if they don't get it to you on time. I had actually placed an order, and they gave me $5 off or credit on my account. They just put $5 on my account to towards more stuff. Anyway, they didn't process it in a timely manner to get it mailed out in time. So they credited me $5 for that. And then they sent me another $5 credit because it didn't arrive at the house at the date that they said it would be here. So I got a total of $10 credit from them because of things being so slow. Have I gotten any crochet stuff from them? No, I have not. Wobble crochet kits? I haven't. I don't know what that is. I'll have to check it out. I have looked at some of their yarn. There was a couple of hanks that I wanted, and there was a particular color that I want, and it's actually not a bad price for it. But every time it comes back in stock, it sells out. But the particular colorway it is the one that I'm looking for, and every time it comes in stock, it disappears just as soon as it gets put back in stock. Apparently, it's a very much wanted yarn. I have ordered several diamond painting kits from them. I ordered 2 dresses from them. The size was a little big on me, but if I went with the smaller size, it would have been too small for me. I'm kind of in between those 2 sizes, so I have to go with the bigger size to fit me better, and it's usually a little bit baggy on me. A lot of it too is I'm so short. I'm only 5'1", so a lot of things are a lot longer for me. The one dress that I did get, I was gonna wear it for Easter, but I chose to wear something else because mainly was my mother-in-law had bought the dress for me, and 2, I knew it wouldn't be too long. The one that I bought from them, it was for a much taller person than me, which is not too bad if I wear a heel high enough, or just pick up the skirt in the front to where I won't trip on the skirt. But okay, there. So Helen says they are new starter kits. They cost $29.35 on Temu. They run 6 to 10. I noticed. Okay, so the regular price ranges from about $29 to $30, but Temu sells them for 6 to 10. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Well, actually, the one green dress, with you being 5'2", that probably would fit you better than it does fit me. Like I said, it wasn't off by much. But for me being 5'1", I have to pick it up just a little bit so I don't trip. Now, the other dress that I got, it had... it was shorter in the front and longer in the back. So that didn't bother me on that part. But because my shoulders, not very broad shouldered, and for somebody my size, they think is a lot broader shouldered than I am. My shoulders are very short from here to here. The span here is not very long. So a lot of the cold shoulder shirts don't look right on me. I love wearing them, and that's what I got was the cold shoulder shirt. Top part of the dress was cold shoulder on both of them. It don't fit right on my shoulder, but I don't care. I wear them anyway. It's just the way I love those tops and the cold shoulder piece on it. Anyway, it's just because of the size that I have to get to fit me, the span through here, they think is much wider than what it really is on me. So the shoulder piece don't look right on me because I'm just not as wide shouldered as what they're anticipating for somebody for that size. But the red dress did work really good. It still didn't fit up here on top on my shoulders, But as far as the front went, because of it being up a little higher and the back was longer, I didn't have to worry about tripping on it or anything. As far as the skirt part, it was a full dress. Actually, one of my videos I showed that dress. I was gonna wear it for Mother's Day. I didn't. I didn't know it was gonna fit, but we took and drove all the way out to North Carolina on Mother's Day, spend the day with his mom as well. And that was quite a fancy dress that I just did not want to. I wanted to be comfortable if we were going to be riding out there an hour and a half in the car and then out to her house and an hour and a half back. So I just chose something a little more comfortable that day to wear. It was still a skirt and shirt, but it was more comfortable than that dress would have been. And actually, it was a lot more comfortable than I thought it was going to be. It says it's an elegant dress, but it actually feels like a casual dress. It was surprisingly comfortable. I could have wore it that day to my mother-in-law's if I wanted to, and I would have been very happy with how comfortable it was. It was a burgundy. It had lace through here and then lace trim at the bottom. I don't know if you've seen that one or not. Now, one of the things you got to watch on their sizes too, even though that you wear like a 1X or a 2X, look at in the parentheses of what it says on the size exactly, because for them on some of their stuff, a 4X is actually a size 20. A 5X is a size 22. 3X is an 18. So you need to pay attention really close to that when you go in there for selecting their sizes. Now, some of them are actually like a 3X here in the US is about a size 22, and a 2X is like a 20. But to them, a 4X and a 5X, a 4X is a 20, and a 5X is 22. So when you go in and look at the sizes on there, check that to make sure it does have that in the parentheses. If it does not, and you do see that it goes up to like a 4X or something like that, it more than likely, if it does not specify, that'll probably be a size 20. Because not all of them will tell you. Now, some of them will. But now I have noticed that some of them are actually to the sizes of US, where an actual 3X does say in parentheses that it's a 22 and a 2X is a 20. So watch that on their sizing, especially for the dresses or tops, whatever that you're ordering for that. Because like to them, a 1X is like a 16 or a 14, something like that. I can't remember. It's just, it's off. It's a little different than what ours is in the US. Let's see, what else have I ordered? I mostly, I have ordered some charms, and some beads from them for doing stitch markers. I even ordered the little hook things on the end, not the lobster claws, but the earring looking ones. Lever back. That's it. Ordered those. I've ordered some of the little rods that I put the little metal rods that I put the beads on. And I've ordered some charms. I've ordered, like I said, some beads from them. I see. I think I ordered a little cat charms from them one time. Now the frog ones I had gotten when I first started my channel. I got those off of Amazon. And I think a bag of 70. And it was actually not a bad price for those. And I was like, I'll never use all these, but I'm really surprised at how many of those I have actually give out and sent out. And when I do hit 500 family members on here, then I will probably do another giveaway. Right now I'm staying about 411 or so. Is about where I'm staying at right now. But I know that I haven't been getting on as much. But like I said, we had been real busy trying to get the house over there ready to be sold and everything for my mother-in-law. Then we worked here at this house too as well to try to get things set up here for the stuff that we were bringing home from over there, which I've actually done some videos at that table that I brought from over there. It's an antique table. Don't know where it came from. It was probably somebody in the family from his mom's side or his dad's side of the family. But it's a drop leaf swing leg antique table, wooden table. It's actually a kitchen table, but I wanted it in there in my sunroom. And it's a good place for me to sit and do my diamond paintings in there. Because I got plenty of windows. I just open the window and got plenty of light to see. Okay, she says, I'm sorry, the new crochet kit is called the Wobbles, $34.99 for just a small penguin. Well, I know that when I first started getting on Temu, they really didn't have a whole lot of yarn selection. It was very small yarn selection. But now that they have gotten a lot more people ordering from them and they've gotten a lot more popular, that they have added a lot more yarn stuff to it as well. Now, as far as trying it, I haven't ordered any from them. I think Crystal, the Yarny Chicken Crazy Cat Lady, has ordered some yarn. Whether she has used it yet or not, I don't know. But I do believe she did order some yarn from them. I haven't, as of yet, ordered any yarn from them. See, I ordered... What did I... For my husband's anniversary gift, I ordered he loves Legend of Zelda Nintendo game, I believe. Ocarina of Time is his favorite. And they actually had an ocarina that you could purchase, a ceramic that he could actually play. And it gave him notes that he could learn and how to place his fingers on there. And he can actually blow into it and use it. And he loved that. It comes with a little stand and stuff like that too. He loved it. I got him a Zelda keychain He loves Star Trek. I bought him a Star Trek keychain from Temu. Now the Zelda music box came from Amazon. And later on, after I ordered it from Amazon, Temu had it. When I first looked it up, Temu didn't have it. But after it came in to the house, then it showed up on Temu. So, like I said, they're gradually adding more and more stuff on here or onto their stuff to be able to order through Temu. The more people that join and start buying stuff from them, they're getting more inventory to choose from. They have, and if you like doing diamond paintings, I absolutely love doing them. They're actually fairly reasonable. A whole lot cheaper than what you would get it at Michael's or Joann's or even Hobby Lobby or Amazon. Even Amazon, they beat Amazon on pricing for the diamond painting stuff. But you got to watch the size carefully. There's been a few of them that I've ordered that was like $1.99. And they weren't this big. This one here is a 30 centimeter by 40 centimeter. So basically 12 by 16. I think this was either $4.49 or $3.98, something like that on sale. Same with this one over here. The $1.99 ones are much, much smaller. She got it from the website. I use the app. But yeah, I haven't seen Crystal's review yet from Bag O' Day. I do watch her a lot. I have done a lot of her patterns as well. That's how I really got started on watching YouTube. As I told my husband, I was like, I want to do some more different stuff. I want to do different items, as all I ever did was blankets, anything flat. I never would have dreamed of doing something like this. Now I used to play around with patterns a lot, and when I first started, the only stitches I really knew was I was mostly self-taught, and that was from a little bitty teeny tiny little square looking book that actually had the pictures on there of showing you how to do each of the stitches from Walmart, basically. Now my very first stitch which of course, when you learn, the first thing anybody teaches you is the chain, which was my mom when I was a kid. I was probably that little man's age, was about 9 or so. I wasn't 14. I was younger than 14. Miss Kitty's 14. But anyway, she taught us how to do a chain. But now when she taught us how to do a chain, she taught us how to do it by hand. And basically we just did bracelets then. And then later on, she actually gave me a crochet hook and yarn and tried to teach me how to do a hat. And I just, she looked at me and she said, "What is that?" And I said, "Well, it's supposed to be a hat." She said, "Here, give it to me." Stitched it up, put some cotton in there, sewed it up some more. Here you go. You have a ball. I had my stitches so tight that it wouldn't have fit on anybody's head. It was a little bitty round ball about this. About big. And she gave up teaching me how to do it. And then we moved out here in Virginia in 1999. The night of my graduation, I actually moved out here. They told me we were not going to stop anywhere overnight. We were going to drive all night long. And I was like, yeah, cool. Because I was hyped up on adrenaline rush from graduation. And then when we stopped to get gas, they gave me a cappuccino on top of that. 19 years old, and I had cappuccino and fully loaded with caffeine and adrenaline rush. And we hit the road. I was driving the family van. My stepdad was driving the U-Haul, and Mom was riding in the U-Haul with him. And like one of my younger sisters was riding in a car seat with them, and then it was me and my sister is 3 years younger than me, and then one of the little ones was with us. So it's three of us in that car, the van that I was driving, and it was three of them in the U-Haul because they packed everything down. We had stuff that wouldn't fit in the U-Haul that they crammed into the van. So there was only so much space in the van. So if Mom ever did decide to ride with me instead, then my other sister, she could ride in the next seat behind me with the car seat in the 2-seater seat, but the 3-seater seat was full of stuff. You couldn't get back there. And so that's why we had one car seat in with me and one car seat in the U-Haul. And if I got tired, Mom would drive, and then she would take a break and let me drive, and sometimes she would give him and then later she would give my stepdad a break because those two were the only ones that could drive the U-Haul. Anyway, and then he was towing my car behind the U-Haul, which was crammed full of stuff too. But anyway, when first moved out here, my sister, she was sitting there doing a pot holder, and I was like, I had come home from work. Mom had made me get out and get a job since I wasn't going to go to college. She's like, all right, you're going to go, since we're settled in. I don't need any help here around the house getting things unpacked and everything. She says, get up, go get you a job. So I went and got me a job. The first job I had out here was a shoe store. And then I worked there for almost 4 years. Then I went to Sears, worked for Sears for almost 4 years. And that was an hour drive every day to work. And then I worked at Walmart for almost 14 years. Had I stayed with them a little bit longer that year, so I think that was about September or so. It was right before school started. And they were going to, in the state of Virginia, what they had done, 2021, I believe it was, they did, little man was in first grade. They started out, they split the kids, half the kids would go, they split them into A-B group. Group A would go on Monday and Tuesday to school. And Wednesdays, the teachers would do video chats and stuff at certain times with the students, and they had to get on there at certain times. do these video chats with the teachers on Wednesdays, and they had to work from home doing these video chats because while they were at home on Wednesdays, the cleaning crew was in there sanitizing the whole school and getting it ready for Group B to go to school on Thursdays and Fridays. And if they had any case of had been exposed to anybody, whatever, everybody that was around the said person that had it, they had to stay out of school, including the teachers. And there was several times that the middle school actually shut down, and Miss Kitty actually had to stay home and do schoolwork instead of going because they didn't have enough teachers to fill in for. They didn't have enough substitutes to fill in, or the teacher and the substitutes had been exposed and all that stuff. So anyway, the elementary school wasn't as bad. Little man didn't have as many. I think he had like maybe 1 or 2 weeks that they had shut it down and he had to stay at home for like the whole week. But other than that, the reason why I stayed at home with them is because the babysitter had a bunch of kids and she couldn't sit down with them and make sure that they did their schoolwork. Now, Miss Kitty had no problem with her getting in and doing her stuff. Little man, I had to sit right next to him and make sure that he did his work. Even the teachers they would get in there and they're like, oh, hey, there's little man's mama right there with him. Well, hi, welcome in. I said, look, if I don't sit right here next to him and then he ain't going to do the work. Or he wouldn't do the videos like he was supposed to. And they're like, oh, it's okay. You're good. I was just saying hi and stuff like that. So anyway, I know that some of the schools that did the virtual stuff, they didn't want the parents watching them doing the teaching and doing the classes and stuff. I just sat there. I would have whatever I was working on at that time, which was more than likely Little Man's blanket that I haven't finished yet. I need to get working on that. That where he had picked different colors. We named it Blanket of Many Colors. I've got, I can't remember, it's either 3 or 4 months left on it to go, and then I'll have it done other than putting the border on it. But anyway, we had a lot of stuff going on around that time of the year too. It was towards the end of that year, last year, had a lot of sickness going on, and that got put on hold. So anyway, excuse me, I'm getting a little sleepy, y'all. What was I talking about? Oh, school stuff. But anyway, that's why I quit working and stayed home with the kids because of the babysitter couldn't sit down and be with the kids and do their stuff. So I became a stay-at-home mom to be able to have the kids be able to do their schoolwork. And I couldn't get my sister-in-law to do it because she was working, and she was working at the school because I can't remember what they called it, but she basically help kids get caught up if they got behind on stuff, or if they struggled with understanding something, she would tutor them, I guess you would say, to help them try to understand it better. But anyway, that's pretty much what she did. She helped, like, kids got behind because they were out sick. She would sit with them and try to get their past assignments done that they had missed out on, or if they were struggling with something to understand it, she would help them to try to understand how to do it. But she retired last year, or no, year. See, I think she's been out for 2 years. School, I think. Yeah, I think it's been 2 years. She's been out of school for 2 years, not teaching. But I think she misses it because she keeps asking, "Is there anything that Miss Kitty needs help with? Do y'all need me to help tutor her for anything?" And she could come over if you need me to do, especially now that she did a lot of helping too, as well, with taking care of her dad. So that kept her busy a lot. And now she's wanting something to do, I think. As her mom is moved away. So her other sisters that live out there are been taking care of her and helping her out. And she goes out and visits once in a while too, as well. But I think she's kind of wanting things to do. But now that school's out, she's also been getting Miss Kitty to come over and help her do her spring cleaning, as she calls it. I call it her summer cleaning because she don't do it till summer hits. So, but she's done it that way since, because of her working at the school system. So that's when she got to do her cleaning, was when school was out. And she's gotten Miss Kitty to help her over the years. There's a few cabinets that she can't get down to and get stuff out of very good. And so she gets Miss Kitty to get in there and reach back in there and grab stuff out of there and wipe it down for her and stuff like that. Let's see, last year she went over, they had several sections of the fence that they had replaced. They have a wooden fence. Part of it at the back is wooden fence. And some of them have either had tree branches fall on them, break, or just from being old, they have broke. And her and her husband replaced them. But because they were so new and stuff, that she wanted them stained and stuff to look the same color as the others. So Miss Kitty went over and helped her stain those boards that was replaced. She's helped her paint the deck a few times, where they put the sealant stuff, to waterproofing stuff on there. She helped with that. And she goes over and helps with stuff. And she loves spending. That gives her time to spend time with them too. When she's doing her schoolwork, she don't get a lot of time with them, and so during the summertime, she likes to go over there. Even though that she gets put to work, she still gets to have fun doing some other stuff too. And it gives her a little bit of a break from her brother as well. Unless little brother goes with her over there. But a lot of times she does go by herself. And a few times he gets to go by himself too. But she also gets to go riding on the 4-wheeler over there as well. her uncle actually got the one that was over here. My husband's dad, mainly my husband wrote it mostly, but his dad did write it some. But the older he got, he quit writing it as much. He mainly would use it a little bit to kind of pull some trees out if they were in areas that he couldn't get to the tree very well to cut it. He would use the 4-wheeler to pull it out a little bit, and where he could cut it. Anyway, it got to where I think it was the gas can had rusted all the way through, had rusted a hole in it. So, but anyway, my husband had looked into putting a new gas can on it, and he just like, that's just an extra expense that we really can't afford right now. So, but anyway, he had asked about it. He actually wanted to buy it. And he had actually asked my husband to buy it from him, and he's like, well, I can't sell you that because it's not mine to sell. He said, but he says, I will ask Dad about it. And he's like, his dad's like, he can just have it. There's so much work that needs to be done to it that he can just have it. So anyway, he got it fixed up. I think it needed new tires. Is all the tires were flat. Anyway, he got it all working. He got it up and running. And she rides that one, and he rides the other one, their 4-wheeler that they have. And occasionally she'll ride theirs over there, but if he goes with them, he gets the bigger one because he's tall. He's a very, very tall man. So he gets the bigger one, and she rides the smaller one around, and they go and ride around over there. But anyway, they have fun. And that's the main part, is they get to have fun. My husband had asked me if we were going to plan on doing anything or go anywhere for this summer for vacation. I was like, I don't know. I said, we just took our trip for our anniversary. And I said, last year we took, or was it, and it was last year or year before last, we took 2 trips to Missouri. I know last year we went to the beach for the summer with the kids, and we met up. We stayed with his cousin. The year before that was when we went out there. We went twice to Missouri that year. One was for our vacation, and the kids hadn't seen my dad or my mom in like 4 or 5 years. And my mom was just tickled to death with little man. She absolutely loved it. Because the first time when he was itty bitty thing, we had went out there for one of my sister's weddings, and he was so little that I think he was about a year, maybe almost 2. I'm not sure exactly. But he's always been a mama's boy. And he took up with Grandma really good. He took up with Aunt Rachel really good, but I just could not. He took up with Aunt Vi really good. That's the first time he'd ever met her. He took up with her, but for some reason, he just wouldn't take up with Mom. And she wanted to hold him so bad, but he didn't want to have anything to do with her much. And I think it really bothered her, but she understood because he was so little and he didn't know her, so she didn't force it. She would talk to him and stuff, but if he didn't want to be held, she wouldn't force him. So when he was a little bit older, we'd went out a while, but it'd been about 5 years or so, and but she was just absolutely tickled to death with him because he would get up earlier than everybody else. Now, sometimes my husband would be up, and little man and my husband both are morning people. They can get up 6 o'clock in the morning ready to roll. Me, on the other hand, I have to have my coffee, and probably about 12 o'clock I'll be awake, but not until then. And then I'm like up till 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. And about 3 o'clock in the morning or so is when I'm going to bed. So I'm, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm not bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I gotta have coffee. But he's always been up and ready to roll. And my mom would get up early. Of course, she had to help take care of the goats and take care of the chickens, go feed them and stuff. But my mom's always been one to get up early anyway. But what tickled her so much was he would get up in the mornings and he would sit on the couch, or he would sit on her lap, and he would let her just love on him. She got to snuggle with him, and she absolutely loved that. She was just so tickled that he finally let her pay attention to him and hold him and stuff. He doesn't do it as much now as he used to with me. But he used to love to sit on my lap all the time. When I was sitting on the couch, he'd get in my lap and he'd sit there. Mom, hold me. Mommy, hold me. Mommy, hold me. But now sometimes he'll get up there and he'll sit next to me. But most of the time he's either playing video games, watching his shows, or running around outside doing something. And occasionally he'll come over and want to snuggle with me. But not as much as he used to. But that just tickled Mom to death that he got up early in the mornings and would just sit there and snuggle with him. I would snuggle with her. And it was because I wasn't awake yet. But she just loved it. She absolutely just adored it. And she was just tickled to see the kids. She don't get to see my kids very often. Now my other sisters, now the one that's 3 years younger than me, she used to be in Alaska, but I don't know how many years now that they've been in Missouri, but they moved back to Missouri, and so she gets to see those grandkids more now than what she used to. And then the other 3 grandkids, she gets to see them not as much as she used to when they lived there, but they're in Oklahoma, I believe. But my sister comes out and visits once in a while. She has gone up there and stayed with her a couple times when her husband was out of town on deployment. So her husband's in the Air Force. And so anyway, she's kind of went out there and helped a little bit here and there with the kids and helping do housework, yard work, stuff like that, because he was gone. And so she, my sister needed help. So she got 3 little ones, and, let's see. I think the oldest one, I think second grade, first or second grade. Then the middle one was in kindergarten this last year, I believe. And then she's got one that's 3, maybe. I don't remember their ages, but she's got a little one that's still at home, not in school yet, but the 2 older ones are in school. but they're not very, that from kindergarten to at least second or third grade right now, age wise. So, anyway, yeah, they got stationed in Oklahoma because he's in the Air Force. He works on the airplanes. He's a mechanic. He works on cars and stuff on the side. He used to a lot. He used to work in a factory when they first got married. He worked in a factory, and if their machines went down, he would work on them and get them fixed. And they didn't have to repay. And he's like, why pay a repairman when I can fix it for you? And so he would fix their machinery. There's a lot of the machineries that if it was temperamental or something went wrong with it, they would get him to look at. Now, if he couldn't fix it, then they would get somebody in to repair it and pay somebody to repair the machines. But a lot of the times he could fix it for them. And so he worked his way up pretty high in rank at that factory because of him jumping in and fixing stuff. Handyman kind of, but he likes to work with machinery and stuff. And so he went into the Air Force, and there is some of them that I'm my understanding there's two different types of mechanics that they have over there. They have the ones that they have a little computer and they hook it up to the plane, and the plane says, yes, you need to replace this. And they will replace that. Or if it's something that they can't replace easily, then they will have one of the mechanics replace it. But he don't do that. He actually does like mechanic work on cars type mechanic work on the planes. And sometimes the computer's not right, and they will replace the part that the computer said to fix, and that's not what's wrong with it, and he will figure out what it is and fix it. And I'm sure he does other stuff too, but anyway, he's in the Air Force. And then my other sister, the baby of the family, she's the one that just recently had the little baby. She's actually in Missouri. Her husband is stationed in Missouri. He's in the Army. And but anyway, I'm going to send her the baby cocoon set that I tested for somebody, for Anita. Queen Mama, get this channel name right. Queen Mama's Hillbilly House with Anita. She did a pattern, and it's a cocoon, a hat, and little baby booties. And I finally got those finished. I got the baby excuse me, got hiccups. Got the last baby booty finished today. But anyway, I need to get that package sent out soon, because this is for a very, very tiny baby, and that ain't gonna fit her for very long. She was only, let's see, what did she say? 6 pounds, 4.3 ounces. And you know how babies are, they grow really fast. And I think she's already a couple weeks old now. So anyway, because it was close to Mother's Day when she had the little one. I have been on here for almost 2 hours, y'all. I'm getting sleepy. I might let it hit we're really, really, really close to the 2 hour mark. Like 30 seconds off of being 2 hours. And my phone is about to die, and I won't be able to see the chat because I cannot read that tiny print on there. this far away. So, so when we hit the 2-hour mark, so I will tell y'all goodbye. Thank you for coming in. I know there's another channel on right now that probably got a lot of people on her channel. She's already, I think, hit 1,000, or I don't know, she's pretty close to 1,000 subscribers. She's pretty close to getting monetized. Anyway, she was on. I don't know if she still is, but keep a watch for a video soon. I don't know when, but I don't want to take time from setup to be able to spend time with her son, because that's the main reason why she had come out here, was to be with her son. But we have got to see her last summer a couple times, and then she came out here for Christmas this last year, and we got to see her then. And hopefully we get to see her soon, because she said she was going to be out here for the summer for her birthday and her son's birthday, and their birthdays are close together. So anyway, good night, Angela, and I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed day. And actually, we are already into Memorial Day, so happy Memorial Day, y'all. And y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye, y'all.